The lobby shimmered with polished marble and gold chandeliers, but the warmth stopped at the front desk. A young woman stepped forward, her canvas overnight bag slung over one shoulder, and slid her black credit card across the counter with quiet confidence. The clerk glanced at the card, smirked, and tapped it against the marble. "Clink. Cute," he said loudly enough for guests nearby to hear. "These knockoffs are getting more creative every year." Several heads turned. The hum of conversation softened. The woman adjusted her grip on her bag, keeping her tone calm. "It's not a knockoff. I have a reservation for the penthouse suite." The clerk's smirk widened. He pressed the card down with one manicured finger, then lifted it up like it was toxic. "Right, and I'm the president." "Sweetheart, this card isn't even worth the plastic it's printed on." He let it fall onto the counter with a sharp clack. A giggle broke out from another staff member behind the desk. "Should I grab some sanitizer?" "Might catch something from that thing." The woman's eyes flickered toward the lobby clock glowing in bold red digits. 9:52 p.m. 8 minutes until her scheduled conference call, a call that couldn't wait. She inhaled slowly, steadying herself. "Please, just check the system. The reservation is under Maya Johnson. Penthouse suite." The clerk sighed dramatically and began typing with exaggerated slowness. His voice carried across the lobby like a stage actor. "Penthouse suite? Penthouse suite? Nope, no record of a Miss Johnson staying here." The woman leaned forward, her voice firmer now. "Double check. It was booked weeks ago." He waved dismissively. "Look, honey, people like you don't stay in our penthouse. Maybe a 2-star down the street, but not here." A hush fell over the lobby. An older couple in designer evening wear exchanged glances. A man in a tailored suit paused his phone call, staring. Near the leather couches, a teenager discreetly raised her phone and started recording. The clerk pushed the card back across the counter like it was trash. "This lobby is for real guests, not scammers with fake cards." The woman slid the card back into her wallet, her jaw tight but her voice even. "I said I have a reservation, and I suggest you confirm before you embarrass yourself further." The clerk laughed out loud, slapping the counter. "Embarrass myself? No, sweetheart. The only thing embarrassing is you standing here pretending you belong." More guests were watching now. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The teenager's phone screen showed a live comment count climbing. 57. 89. 134. The woman glanced once more at the clock. 9:55 p.m., 5 minutes left. She adjusted her shoulders, her voice dropping low enough to slice through the tension. "I do belong," she said. "And when the truth comes out, you'll regret every word." The clerk smirked again, certain of his power. He didn't see the storm gathering in the crowd, or in her calm, deliberate tone. The clerk straightened his tie and raised his voice, projecting like he was performing for the entire lobby. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, spreading his arms dramatically, "we've got ourselves a case of mistaken identity. Someone here thinks they're penthouse material." Snickers rippled through the staff behind him. One leaned in and whispered just loud enough, "Should I go ahead and cancel the reservation? Free up the suite for someone who actually belongs." The woman's eyes narrowed, but she stayed silent, gripping the strap of her worn leather bag. The clerk didn't wait for an answer. He tapped furiously at the keyboard, then turned the screen toward his colleagues. "See, penthouse suite reservation right here. But clearly, it can't be hers. This is what happens when people with day jobs watch too many reality shows." Laughter broke out behind the counter. The woman checked the glowing digits of the clock again. 9:56 p.m., 4 minutes. A couple sitting near the grand piano whispered to each other. The man raised his phone and began filming discreetly. A young woman in the lounge mouthed the word "wow" as the comment count on her live stream doubled again. The clerk leaned across the counter, lowering his voice just enough to make it sting. "Let me give you some advice, sweetheart. When you walk into a place like this dressed in bargain bin clothes, flashing a toy card, you're basically begging people to laugh. This is a 5-star establishment, not a bus terminal." The other staff member leaned closer, smirking. "I'll just cancel this reservation now before a real guest shows up." Her manicured nails clicked against the keyboard. "Stop." The woman's voice cracked through the air, calm but commanding. Heads in the lobby turned at the sudden steel in her tone. The clerk blinked, caught off guard. "Excuse me?" "I said stop," she repeated. "You don't have the authority to cancel anything until you verify my documents." The staffer laughed. "Verify, please. Anyone with Photoshop can whip up a confirmation email. You really thought we'd fall for that?" The woman slid her phone across the counter. On the screen, a glowing email confirmation with her name, the hotel's letterhead, the suite number, and the check-in date. "Read it," she said evenly. The clerk glanced at it, then waved it off. "Cute, but fake. You think we're that stupid?" The audience in the lobby was no longer pretending to ignore the scene. Phones were out. Fingers tapped screens. Someone whispered, "She's streaming live. Look at the numbers." The woman inhaled slowly, her eyes flicking again to the clock. 9:57 p.m., 3 minutes left. She picked up her phone and slid it back into her bag. "If you're so sure I don't belong," she said softly, "then go ahead and cancel it. Just know, once you do, it won't be my reputation on the line." The clerk chuckled, puffed up with arrogance. "Gladly." He tapped a few keys, then slammed the enter button with theatrical flair. Reservation canceled. Gasps rippled across the lobby. The livestream comment counter spiked past 500. The woman stood straighter, her calm face unreadable. "You just canceled more than a room," she whispered. The clerk grinned, unaware that his victory was seconds away from crumbling. The digital clock above the desk glowed a merciless red. 9:58 p.m., 2 minutes left. The woman exhaled through her nose, steady as stone, while the clerk basked in his moment of triumph. He turned toward his colleagues, arms wide as if he'd just performed a magic trick. "Reservation canceled," he declared proudly. "Problem solved. This scammer can head back to wherever she crawled from." The staff behind him clapped mockingly. One even mimed sweeping crumbs off the counter. "Should I call housekeeping?" she quipped. She left a mess on the marble. The woman's jaw tightened, but she didn't flinch. Her gaze swept the lobby. Every eye was on her now, the older couple whispering nervously, the businessman holding his phone at chest height, the teenager's livestream viewer count flashing like fireworks. The clerk smirked, relishing the attention. "Security!" he barked, snapping his fingers. A tall guard in a navy blazer emerged from a side corridor, adjusting his earpiece. He had the calm, measured walk of someone used to handling drunk guests and unruly parties, but this situation was different. The entire lobby was watching. Phones were rolling. "What's the issue?" the guard asked. "This woman tried to scam her way into the penthouse suite with fake documents and a toy credit card," the clerk said, his voice dripping with authority. "Reservations canceled. Escort her out before she causes more trouble." The guard turned to the woman. Her eyes met his, unwavering. "Do you have identification, ma'am?" She reached into her bag and pulled out a sleek leather wallet. From it, she slid a driver's license across the counter. The guard picked it up, studying it carefully. Hologram, expiration date, photo, everything checked out. The clerk snatched it from his hand. "Please, I've seen better fakes on Canal Street." "Don't waste your time, Marcus." The guard hesitated. Something about the woman's composure, her lack of panic, gnawed at him. He glanced at the glowing red clock. 9:59 p.m., 1 minute. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "anything else you want to show me before this escalates?" The woman pulled out her phone again. She opened her email app, tapping on the official hotel confirmation. "My name, my suite number, my check-in date, and your hotel's logo." "All real," the clerk waved it off. She forged that. "Anyone can edit an email." He leaned toward the guard, his voice rising so everyone could hear. "Don't fall for it. I've been doing this for years. I can smell a scammer a mile away." Gasps rippled through the crowd. A murmur rolled like a wave. "This doesn't look right. She seems legit. They're pushing too hard." The teenager's livestream buzzed with comments. "This is so racist. OMG, cancel the staff. Not her. It's 2025 and this is still happening?" Viewer count 1,200. 2,500. Climbing fast, the guard shifted uneasily. "I think we should pause before—" "No," the clerk snapped, cutting him off. He jabbed a finger at the woman, loud enough to echo against the marble walls. "I don't care what she shows us. She does not belong here. Get her out." The clock clicked to 10:00 p.m. The woman's phone buzzed in her hand. Her international business call was ringing. She glanced at the guard, her voice low but sharp. "You might want to think carefully before you touch me." because the second you do, this won't just be a bad night at work. The livestream viewer count exploded past 2,000. The guard froze. The entire lobby held its breath. The next move would decide everything. The air in the lobby thickened, heavy with the kind of silence that comes before thunder. Guests shifted in their seats, phones raised high now, no longer pretending to be discreet. The marble floors reflected it all. The clerk's smug stance, the guard's hesitation, and the woman's stillness, like the calm center of a storm. The clerk leaned across the counter, his voice sharp and theatrical. "You're wasting everyone's time. We're done here. Security, take her out before she makes more of a scene." The woman didn't move. She glanced at the guard, her voice steady. "Before you follow that order, you may want to consider Section 12.4 of your employee handbook." The guard blinked. "What?" She locked eyes with him. "The part about unlawful discrimination in guest services. It's in your HR app. You might want to pull it up before you put your hands on me." A ripple moved through the crowd. Someone whispered, "She knows the handbook?" Another guest muttered, "Wait, she's quoting policy?" The clerk threw his hands up, laughing. "Oh, now she's a lawyer, please. Next, she'll tell us she owns the place." The livestream counter jumped past 3,500 viewers. Comments scrolled like wildfire. "This is insane. She's too calm. Something's coming. Clip this, send it to corporate." The guard hesitated, pulling out his phone. His brow furrowed as he scrolled through the handbook app. The clerk snatched the phone from his hand. "Marcus, don't waste your time. She's stalling. That's what scammers do. Buy time until they can sneak away." He turned back to the woman, voice dripping with arrogance. "But you're not sneaking away, sweetheart. Not tonight. You're done." The woman lifted her chin slightly, eyes flicking to the glowing clock. 10:01 p.m. Her call had already started. The stakes weren't just personal anymore. Millions of dollars were on the line. In the lounge, a young woman whispered into her phone camera, "Guys, it's trending. Cur hotel racism. It's already on Twitter." The businessman who'd been recording finally spoke up. "Excuse me," he said, stepping closer. "I've been a guest here for a week. I've never seen anything this unprofessional." The clerk turned on him instantly. "Sir, this is none of your concern. Please return to your seat." The businessman didn't budge. "It's everyone's concern when your staff cancels a confirmed reservation without proof, especially when half the city is watching this live." The clerk's smirk faltered for just a second. His eyes darted toward the phones in the air, the glowing screens, the murmuring crowd. Then he doubled down. "This is my lobby," he said, voice raised to a near shout, "and I decide who stays. If you don't like it, you can check out too." Gasps echoed. Even the guard's jaw tightened. The woman reached into her bag, pulling out a slim leather portfolio. She set it gently on the counter, her fingers resting on the clasp. "You think you've canceled my reservation," she said quietly, her voice carrying over the hush. "But in the next few minutes you'll realize you canceled something else entirely." The livestream counter leapt past 6,000 viewers. Notifications pinged across the clerk's computer screen. Corporate emails flagged urgent. The trap had been sprung. The leather portfolio sat on the counter like a sealed fate. The woman flicked the clasp and slid out a single sheet of paper, crisp and official. She laid it flat, the hotel's letterhead glinting under the chandelier light. "My name," she said calmly. "My suite number. Confirmation code. Paid in full 3 months ago." The guard leaned in, brows knitting as he scanned the page. Everything matched. Formatting, seals, even the embossed watermark at the bottom. His lips parted as if to speak, but the clerk snatched it away. He held it up dramatically, waving it like evidence in a courtroom. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, "this is exactly what a high-quality fake looks like. Convincing to the untrained eye, but still a fraud." Laughter bubbled up from behind the counter. "She must have spent hours on Photoshop," one clerk joked. The woman's jaw set, but she stayed silent. The businessman near the piano folded his arms. "That doesn't look fake to me." "Sir," the clerk snapped, "unless you're a forensic document examiner, your opinion is irrelevant." He turned back to the crowd, performing for the growing audience. "This is why I'm the professional. This is why I protect our establishment from liars and freeloaders." The livestream chat was a blur now. This is so staged. They're digging their own graves. She's calm because she knows something. Bro is performing for TikTok. Not running a hotel. Viewer count 9400. The woman pulled out her phone again. One swipe and a glowing email appeared. She held it up so the guard could see. The official hotel reservation email, complete with her name, dates, and payment receipt. The guard's brow furrowed deeper. This looks legitimate. The clerk yanked the phone from his hand, nearly dropping it in the process. Fake. Do you know how easy it is to spoof an email? Kids do it for fun. Look at her. Do you really think someone dressed like that can afford the penthouse? A hush fell. The cruelty was so blatant now that even the crowd winced. The woman's sneakers squeaked slightly as she shifted her weight, but she didn't back down. You've seen my ID, my reservation, my proof of payment, she said quietly. What more do you need? The clerk leaned in so close his breath fogged the marble counter. A reality check, sweetheart. This isn't a charity. This is a luxury hotel. And you? You don't fit, phones buzzed. Notifications pinged. Across the counter, a computer screen lit up with flashing emails. Corporate alert, urgent response required. The guard noticed it. So did the businessman. So did the livestream audience who zoomed in on the screen and typed furiously, "Yo, corporate is watching." He's finished. Keep rolling, this is history. The woman slid her phone back into her bag and closed the portfolio, her movements deliberate. She glanced at the glowing clock. 10:03 p.m. You've had chance after chance to do the right thing, she said, her voice like steel wrapped in velvet. And every time you chose arrogance, so now… She tapped the portfolio with one finger. Now we move to the next level. The clerk rolled his eyes, smirking at the crowd. Oh, please. What are you going to do, sue us? The woman's gaze didn't waver. No, I'm going to show you exactly who you've been humiliating. Gasps rippled. The livestream counter passed 11,000 viewers. The stage was set for the twist. The marble lobby buzzed with tension, phones raised like courtroom cameras. The clerk, smug as ever, leaned his elbows on the counter, performing to his shrinking circle of loyal staff. Ladies and gentlemen, he announced, voice carrying under the chandeliers, scammers don't just target our wallets. They target our dignity, and it's my job to protect you from frauds like… He gestured toward the woman as though she were a shoplifter caught red-handed. The livestream chat exploded with rolling comments. This is painful. He's still talking? She's literally glowing with confidence. Bro has no idea who she is. Keep watching. Something big is coming. Viewer count, 14 through 700. The woman slipped one final document from her portfolio. Unlike the others, this one bore a golden seal pressed deep into the paper. She laid it down silently, letting the weight of the embossed crest do the talking. The clerk scoffed. Another printout? What is this, your library card? The businessman by the piano stood straighter, eyes widening as he recognized the seal. Wait a second. That's corporate. The clerk froze just for a second before recovering with a laugh. Fake corporate documents? Cute. But you're not fooling anyone. The woman reached into her bag again, this time producing a sleek black business card. The kind executives carried, heavy stock, embossed letters that whispered power. She set it gently beside the corporate document. Maya Harrington, Chief Executive Officer, Harrington Global Holdings. The hush was instant. No one breathed. Even the security guard blinked in disbelief. You're the CEO? He muttered. The clerk stammered, That's not possible. He waved his hand, struggling for words. She's dressed like what? Maya's voice cut through the silence, calm, sharp as glass. Like someone beneath you? Like someone unworthy of courtesy? Like someone you could mock in front of strangers? The live stream count jumped again, 18,900. She turned her phone around, showing the corporate website. Her own headshot gleamed on the screen, captioned, Maya Harrington, majority owner, Sterling Grand Hotels. The entire lobby gasped. Phones zoomed in. Notifications exploded. The businessman shook his head, a grin spreading across his face. Oh my God, she doesn't just have a reservation. She owns this place. The livestream chat went nuclear. She owns the hotel. Derek about to be jobless live. Plot twist better than Netflix. Viewer count, 22,400. The clerk's face drained of color. He reached for the document, but his hands shook so badly he couldn't grip it. This has to be fake. Maya stepped closer, her gaze unwavering. You had every chance. Proof of identity, proof of payment, proof of reservation, and you dismissed it all because you couldn't see past your prejudice. She leaned in, her voice low but carrying across the marble floor. You work for me. Every insult, every laugh, every word tonight has been broadcast to thousands of people and directly to my board of directors. The clock chimed softly. 10:07 p.m. The silence was crushing. Then she tapped the counter with a single manicured finger. Check your corporate email. The termination notices should already be waiting. The clerk's phone buzzed. Patricia's computer pinged. Both screens lit up with subject lines in bold red. Immediate dismissal. Policy violation, Section 14(3). The crowd erupted. Guests clapped. The businessman whistled. The livestream chat screamed, "Fired live. I can't breathe. This woman is a legend. Justice served in 4K. Viewer count, 26,000. The clerk staggered back, his legs trembling. The arrogance drained out of him like water from a broken glass. Maya gathered her documents, sliding them neatly back into her leather portfolio. She slung her worn messenger bag over her shoulder and said only one thing before turning toward the elevators. You don't cancel me. I cancel you. The lobby felt like it had flipped upside down. Just 10 minutes earlier, the staff had strutted with arrogance, tossing insults like coins into a fountain. Now, every face behind the counter was pale, hollowed out by dread. Patricia clutched the counter like a lifeline, her voice barely audible. This has to be some misunderstanding. Her hands trembled so hard that the stapler in her grip rattled, but the emails glowed on her screen. Immediate dismissal. Policy violation, Section 14(3). Each word was a nail sealing her career's coffin. The businessman in the lobby barked out a laugh. Misunderstanding? You all just tried to cancel your own boss's reservation on camera. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a disaster. The livestream chat screamed with digital applause. Imagine getting fired in front of 26K people. This hotel staff about to trend harder than the Super Bowl. Bro turned the lobby into his own TED Talk and lost his job. Viewer count surged, 31,200. Guests began whispering louder now, no longer afraid. The elderly couple muttered about contacting their lawyer. A young family shook their heads, disgust etched on their faces. We're never staying here again, the mother said, pulling her children close. Jennifer, the girl live-streaming from the lounge, could hardly keep her voice steady. Y'all, we are watching history. She's the owner. The owner. And these fools thought she was broke. The security guard, Marcus, rubbed the back of his neck, glancing at Maya. Ma'am, what do you want us to do with them? His tone carried respect now, not suspicion. Maya's eyes swept across the staff. Calm, controlled, deadly in its precision. Escort them off the premises. Tonight. The clerk's knees buckled. Wait, please. I've got a family. Maya cut him off with a quiet hand gesture. And yet, when I told you I had a reservation, you treated me like trash. Did you stop to think about my family? About the people counting on me? About the $200 million deal I'm closing tonight? The businessman clapped slowly, his grin wide. That's what we call accountability. Patricia broke down in tears, mascara streaking across her cheeks. I was just following his lead, she cried, pointing at the clerk. I didn't mean... The crowd murmured. Some scoffed. Some filmed closer. The livestream chat lit up again. Classic excuse. I was just following orders. No sympathy. She laughed at the card. This feels like a movie, but it's real. Viewer count, 34,600. Maya stepped closer, her presence commanding the entire room. You laughed at my card. You mocked my clothes. You tried to erase my reservation. You dismissed my humanity. None of that was leadership. All of it was choice. She turned toward the other guests. And for every one of you watching, in this lobby or on that live stream, know this. What happened tonight isn't just about me. It's about every guest who's been humiliated, ignored, or denied because someone assumed they didn't belong. The businessman started clapping. Then the family joined in. Then the entire lobby erupted into applause. a standing ovation that shook the marble floor. The livestream count flashed 40,200. Comments flew so fast they blurred into a wall of emojis, fists, and fire icons. The clerk and Patricia slunk toward the exit, escorted by Marcus. Their careers in ruins, their faces etched with disbelief, their arrogance turned to ash. Maya stood in the center of it all, her worn messenger bag hanging from her shoulder, her expression composed, her eyes sharp as steel. The applause grew louder, echoing up the vaulted ceiling, and for the first time that night, the staff weren't in control of the lobby. Maya was. The applause thundered through the sterling grand lobby, bouncing off marble pillars and crystal chandeliers. But Maya didn't smile. She didn't bask. Instead, she raised her hand, and silence fell like a curtain dropping on a Broadway stage. Tonight, she said, her voice calm but unshakable, was never just about a penthouse suite. It was never about a piece of metal called a credit card. It was about dignity, something that no one, in this hotel or anywhere else, has the right to strip away. Every camera phone was locked on her. Jennifer's live stream now showed 47,000 viewers climbing by the second. Hashtags were exploding across Twitter and TikTok. Sterling Hotels had gone viral, but not the way their marketing team ever imagined. Maya opened her leather portfolio again and pulled out a single page. She slid it onto the marble counter. At the top, in bold, Immediate Reform Initiative, Sterling Grand Chicago. Effective right now, she continued. This hotel is under new direction. Every employee will undergo retraining in cultural sensitivity and hospitality standards. A new guest dignity program will allow real-time reporting of discrimination, and every single complaint will bypass local management and go straight to corporate. The businessman in the tailored suit raised his brows. You're turning this place upside down. No, Maya corrected him. I'm turning it right side up. The crowd murmured in approval. Guests pulled out their phones, filming every word, eager to be part of history. Patricia and Derek, already escorted to the doors, turned back one last time. Their faces were masks of shock and shame. For them, there was no applause, no redemption, only the cold bite of consequences. Marcus, the head of security, stood taller now, his voice steady. Ma'am, I'd like to stay on, help rebuild this place. Tonight showed me the rot, but it also showed me the cure. Maya gave him a single nod. Good, we'll need people like you. She turned back to the crowd, her voice carrying a quiet authority that silenced even the livestream comments. Let tonight be a reminder. You never know who you're speaking to. You never know what battles they're fighting, what power they hold, or what they represent. But you always know this. Every human being deserves respect. No exceptions. The elderly couple lowered their eyes, visibly ashamed. The young family nodded with approval. Jennifer, her livestream count blasting past 52,000, whispered, This woman just changed everything. Maya adjusted the strap of her messenger bag, glanced once more at the shattered pride of her staff, and checked her watch. Midnight. Her Tokyo conference call waited upstairs. She gave the crowd a final look, a final lesson. If you believe dignity should never be negotiable, she said, locking eyes with Jennifer's phone camera, then share this story. Subscribe for more stories like this one. And remember, silence protects the guilty. Your voice protects the truth. The applause roared again, shaking the hotel lobby to its foundations. And just like that, Maya Richardson walked to the elevator. Not just the owner of the hotel, but the face of a movement.